Hi there, this is Coach AJ, and you're watching a new episode of Living Fully Fit. If you enjoyed the content you're watching, make sure to subscribe down below to receive updates for future content. Also, please put a thumbs up to like the channel in support of the channel. And if you know anybody that can benefit from these videos, from past, present, and also future, share the link below or other links that you can see on this channel. Let's get into it. So we're looking at a new series again as we're looking into frequently asked questions here at Fully Fit. And we've been looking at all these different questions that are frequently asked on Google because people tend to search for answers out there on the web. You're looking for an answer probably right here on YouTube if you're not a subscriber. But think about this. All these questions usually are in search for an answer to something that's going to help benefit us or give us, some sanity for a question that's been plaguing us for a while. Either way, these questions are important to us. So the question we're going to answer today is, how do I trust again? It's a question quite frequently asked on Google, actually. But it's just a question that's asked so many times by people who have been hurt, especially by having trust broken by someone else. Now, I'm not going to challenge you to build trust with someone. I'm going to challenge you how to trust again. Maybe it's a person that broke your trust. Maybe it's an institution that broke your trust. Maybe it's an organization. Maybe it's a group of people that broke your trust. Whatever the situation may be, we become broken from that distrust. Trust is destroyed, and then we become more jaded. We build up walls to protect ourselves. That way we don't get hurt again, and we don't allow ourselves to trust in a capacity that lets people in our lives because we're just afraid or concerned or really just anxious about being hurt again. So again, have you asked that question before? How do I trust again? Maybe it was a intimate relationship that broke that trust. So many lies, or maybe it's just that one lie. Or maybe you trust someone with intimate information and they gossiped around and told your story. Or maybe you trusted people with your heart, with yourself, with your true self, and then they made a mockery of it, or they took it for granted. That's also a breaking of trust when we take people for granted. Either way, you're dealing with distrust. You're dealing with walls built up of, do I climb over this wall? Do I let that person in my safe space? And a lot of times we don't. Because again, we're in this survival mode of keeping ourselves guarded and hidden behind a wall, behind a mask, whatever analogy you want to use. But either way, these walls, these masks, these protections, yes, they're protecting you, but they're also preventing you from experiencing what the future holds. I get it. In the past, someone or something hurt you. Maybe it was a church. I've been in ministry before the military for 13 years, and trust me, I've had ups and downs of trusting someone with information and then they just blab it to everyone, and then your business is out there. Trusting someone with your family, and then they just overwork you so you never see your family. I've experienced those kind of things. I've experienced trusting in someone who's supposed to be a mentor, but they end up just mistreating you and taking you for granted and talking down to you, even paying you like nothing, like pennies. That it happens, right? You're trusting your boss to help pay you a decent wage. You're trusting your organization to be a safe space. Maybe you've been in a work where it's a toxic environment, or you've been bullied, or whatever it is. You're trusting that organization, you're trusting that work, you're trusting that environment to protect you. And a lot of times we've experienced situations where we're not, and that trust is broken. Maybe you've been sexually harassed or assaulted at work, or a place where it's safe, maybe with family members. Either way, trust is broken, and how do we rebuild that? How do we find a stepping stone in the right direction? Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to kind of show the dangers of staying behind the walls. Yes, you're safe behind the walls. I promise you are. Safe, but you're not going to experience what is out there. And there's a lot more than just pain out there. I promise you that. It might not seem like that sometimes. It might not seem like that even right now. But I promise you, eventually, the dawn comes after the darkness. The storm clears out and the sun shines again. But the danger of staying behind the walls is we prevent ourselves, we stifle ourselves from growth. That's the number one thing, is we stifle our growth. We can't grow as humans, we can't grow as people, we can't grow as business men and women in today's market. We can't grow as productive family members, productive friends, productive human beings if we stay behind our walls. Again, there's so many dangers here of staying behind that wall. Yes, you're protecting your heart, your mind somewhat, but you're also doing way more damage than you realize. Because by shutting people out, you're becoming unbalanced. Yes, you're protecting mind and heart, but you're unbalanced with your relationships, maybe even your spirit. You're unbalanced in other aspects. So you can have a solid mind and heart. Well, I'm set, no one's gonna hurt me now, but exactly, you don't have anybody in your life. I'm alone, I can't find I can't find friends or a good friend, or I can't find that significant other. Yeah, because you shut everyone out and you have these tall walls in front of you. That's why. Maybe it's time to look at what's over the wall, start chiseling it away. And I'm not saying you have to tear down the walls like a giant explosion, maybe, but it takes steps. But the other danger here is eventually being isolated does damage your mental and emotional wellness. Yes, protecting your mental and emotional wellness temporarily is okay. I get after a breakup, right after a firing, right after an assault or harassment or whatever you've dealt with, I get it. You're traumatized. It happens. You have time to grieve. You are allowed that time to grieve. You should grieve, but then get help. If you can't get help on your own, find help. Get counseling. Seek someone. Seek a pastor or a counselor, a chaplain, someone you can vent and flesh out the details of what you need to fix. Otherwise, again, what's going to happen by isolating yourself in this little bubble, in this wall behind the mask, you're going to start pushing people away more. And then you're going to miss opportunities that you could have had. What if you met the right one and you're so walled up that you missed it because you're walled up and you're unwilling to start chiseling that wall down? I'm not saying you have to just thrust them into your space and destroy the walls. I'm not saying that, but slowly, gradually, let those walls down, because you're going to miss out on opportunities. And it's not just with people, but situations and experiences. So how do we start tearing down the walls? How do we trust again? That's the main question, right? Trust. It's like a domino, right? That whole domino effect. You stack the dominoes. It's hard to add those lines down the line. It takes time, it takes patience. But one tip and they all fall down. And that is, again, how how trust is built. Trust, so easily broken, so hard to rebuild. But we have to start somewhere, especially if you're starting in a fresh slate. If, let's say you've moved on from a relationship or a business or job, whatever, or a church, try a new one. But again, the only way we can trust and help trust others, how do we trust again, is by trusting. I know it sounds redundant there, but the only way to start trusting again is by trusting. I'll explain. I'm not saying you have to give everybody all the trust chips, all your trust. I'm talking about giving them little bits of things to trust them in. Little pieces. And you can even trust and verify. Small things to put trust in. Small things to slowly build up that trust muscle, I guess you can say. It's like going into the gym. You're not going to just go into the gym and grab the heaviest weight, start working out if it's your first time going to the gym, or if you came back from an injury. Even better analogy, right? You're coming back from an injury. You're not going to go back to where you were lifting heavy weights. No, you have to start gradually and build up again, build up those muscles again, because they're weakened, they're broken, they're scarred. But that doesn't mean they can't get back to where they were. It just takes time. So again, baby steps, start trusting little by little. That's the main way we begin to trust again. By opening ourselves up. Not fully, but little by little. And that way you build relationships in a healthy way. And that's the healthiest way to do it anyways. I think a lot of times the reason why we get hurt by trusting is because we just trust so quickly and put all ourselves out there on the table, and we forget that, you know what, the healthiest way for any kind of progress is slowly but surely. You know, again, it's like the story of the tortoise and the rabbit. You know, slow and steady wins the race. Slow and steady builds trust. Slow and steady builds relationships. Again, you're not going to just trust everyone with everything. I wouldn't recommend going to a church and just vomiting all of your problems and all of your past and all of your sin and all that stuff. I guess the Bible says to confess our sins to one another. But again, you build up to that kind of stuff. There are certain people I trust with my baggage. There are certain people I don't. Because the people that I trust know me, I know them well enough that they're going to love me no matter what I've done or will do. That's the difference there. Is you build up to that point where then you can fully trust. Again, I think that's what the biggest mistake we make so many times is we just thrust our trust on people, and then we're so disappointed and heartbroken and devastated when they hurt us. And then we don't want to trust anymore. So we go from one extreme to the other extreme. So my challenge to you, as you learn how to trust again, slowly but surely, trust in small things, and then when they win your trust, give a little bit more and give a little bit more. And let's say they do break your trust. People are humans. People are humans, you know, we're all human beings. We make mistakes. No one is perfect. People will break your trust, but it all depends on their reaction too. So keep a gauge on that. If you start seeing them just defending themselves for why they broke your trust, well, I think that's a good sign that you need to step back. Have a conversation, figure out the root, and if they continue just to blow you off and break trust, there's your answer. Pull away before you get back to where you were, being devastated and walls up again. See the signs early on. That way you can protect yourself before it becomes too devastating. You can catch one of those dominoes from tipping the whole thing over. You know what I mean? So I hope this video helps you as you're looking to engage in building trust again, not just with people, but things that you put yourself into, your heart into. Maybe it's your passion, your business, your religion, whatever it is, your faith, all that. Build slowly. And as you build slowly, be aware, be in tune, and take care of yourself. I'm Coach AJ. Thanks for watching another episode of Living Fully Fit.